Pickle, let's go to the hotline, and let's go out east and talk with the head coach of the Van Vandals. We're joined on the phone line now by Coach Jared Moffatt. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys today?
Doing great. How are things in beautiful Van, Texas?
Man, really good. It's 71 degrees today. The
Oh.
sun is shining. Doesn't feel like winter, so we're enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to soak these types of things in. That's there's no doubt about
Tell me
that.
about it.
I want to ask you a little bit about your 2021 season, which was a really strong one. You guys go 12-1 out there in East Texas. You know, a breakout year from your quarterback Jackson Rainey, and it was just a fun year to see you guys kind of. Make the strides that you did. Ended up coming up short to Gilmer there in the regional semifinals. I'm interested, when you take a look back on that 2021 season, what do you think you're going to remember most about it?
Well, you mentioned the season. You talked about Jackson, how well he played, and I described it as every game he played as a senior was better than any game he played as a junior. And you see that sometimes with guys that grow up and mature a little bit. And he played good as a junior too now. But he just played out of his mind as a senior and did a great job of leading our team. And I coached the quarterbacks. I told my dad was a former coach. We were playing Palestine, first game of the year, and Jackson took the first play of the season, 70 yards for a touchdown against Jacksonville. And I walked by my dad because he stands on the sidelines, and I told him going into halftime, I said, "Hey, I want you to know the quarterback's playing so much better. That's all coaching, Dad. That's all coaching." He looked at me like I was crazy, of course. But, man, he played so good and helped lead our team to a 12-win season, 12-0 going into play Gilmer. So a lot of great memories there. My second son was a senior on this team. He played defensive end. So I kind of watched these kids grow up. They're hanging at my house. I don't know how many times I go home and these guys are in my house eating all of my food. So it was a special year, with all those things combined, especially my son playing on it. So we had a lot of fun this year.
Well, and the other thing is, you guys brought home your first outright district championship since 2014. It was your first undefeated regular season since then. I think people think of Van and the history that you guys have had, and they would think, oh, well, you know what, 12-1, an undefeated regular season is just another year. It sounds like to me that, no, those types of years are special. You've got to appreciate them whenever they come about.
Well, you're right. And I've been here for 12 years, which is crazy that I've been here this long. But it's been a great place for me and my family. But that 12-win season, that was the fourth time in the history of Van we've won 12 games, which we'd love to improve upon that. It's the second time we've done it in the last, I guess, 5 or 6 years. But it was the fourth time in the history of the school. So we're really proud of that season and, what comes with it and winning 12 games. But at the same time, I think what hopefully we've created here is we have a bunch of guys who aren't satisfied with winning 12 games and playing in the third round. They like to accomplish more. And so, that's what's ahead of us, and we're excited about that and excited about the future here. And so as fun as that was and as great as a class this was, we're looking towards the future and hoping to do greater things ahead.
Talk with Jared Moffatt, the head coach of the Van Vandals here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Coach, I want to ask you a little bit about the other side of the ball, which I don't think gets enough credit, which is, the defense has been really, really impressive, the past couple of years. And this past year, it seemed like it took another step forward. I'm interested in how you feel like that defense has grown and matured over the past couple of years, because there are some youngsters there, but you've also had some veterans who have been key pieces of that defense.
Well, you're right, and our defense, like this staff, we've been real fortunate in the Van to keep a lot of our guys together. And Jared Rainey is our defensive coordinator. He's been here for 8 years. We worked together at Denton Ryan on the same staff. And that's where it starts. And he does a great job coordinating our defense. Our guys are really well coached, and that combined with how they play, our kids play extremely hard. We don't typically push out a bunch of college football players year in and year out, and we'll have some. But we're playing with blue collar kids from Van that play hard and are well coached, and that's fun to accomplish what we've been able to accomplish with these guys. But our defense starts with Coach Rainey. Of course, when we've had, and you mentioned it, man, we've had some really good football players come through here. on the defensive side. And this year, Katie Erskine at defensive tackle did a great job for us. And we got a linebacker, Bo Barton, who we're lucky to have back, who started for 2 years for us, was defensive MVP of the district. So we've got players too. But the thing I love about our defense is they play great team defense. They do exactly what they're coached to do. And because of that, and because they play so well together, they can make it hard on some people. So it's, like I said, man, it's a great place to be. It's a great group of kids to work with. We've had a lot of fun with them.
This is the first time I've been able to talk to you during the season, so I want to go back to October 30th, which was when you guys won a real ho-hum contest over Canton. 55-54. I believe the game, a would-be game-winning field goal clanged off the crossbar.
Yes.
Jackson Rainey had 8 touchdowns. It was your 100th victory as a coach. What in the world's going through your mind in a game like that, where it just seems like both you guys just decided to just cut the brakes at the same time?
It was insane, man. And like Canton is 15 miles down the road from Van, and we're well aware of each other, if you know what I mean. And their kids know our kids. They grew up playing against each other in every single sport, and so that's all you need for that game to be crazy to start with. Then I'm sitting on 99 wins, trying to get to 100. The last thing you want to do is not get it, losing to Canton, right? And then the game went like it did, both sides back and forth. Both teams made just a ton of unbelievable plays on offense. Their quarterback played great. Jackson Rainey, like I said, played out of his mind, just did everything possible. And it was back and forth. It wasn't like somebody was winning the whole time. We were up, they were up. We caught a touchdown pass to take the lead. John Crow caught a touchdown pass from Jackson Rainey with about a minute and 15 seconds left, right? And I immediately thought, oh, no, there's too much time. Because that's just the way the game had gone.
Yeah.
You've seen those games, and it's whoever has the football last. So we kick off, and, they put it together. And, I mean, to their credit, Coach Hubble there at Canton's done a great job in his second year. And, boy, they had a way better football team than anybody knew. But they get down. And so they get down there, and they have a chance to kick a field goal, 43-yard field goal. And when they sent the field goal unit out, I felt good about it because they'd missed 3 PATs. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
I wasn't even worried about it. Our defense coordinator, Coach Randy, calls timeout to say, hey, we need to block the kick. I'm like, no, man, if you rough the kicker, that's the only way we lose. They're not making this.
Mm-hmm.
So they line up and kick the thing, and this kid kicks the heck out of this ball. And I'm looking, I'm like, this is going in. We are going to lose. Scored 55 points. We're going to lose on a 43-yard field goal. And it dinged off right in the middle of the crossbar. And relief, I guess is what I would say. When that was over, I freaking just dropped my headset. Could not believe it, how it ended, man. But that was a wild one. And I told somebody else we talked about it. So, well, there's no doubt I'll always remember the 100th win because you're not forgetting that game as long as you live.
No. Talk with Jared Moffatt, the head coach of the Van Vandals here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TFToday. All right, Coach, let's talk about last week, too, with realignment. So we knew that there were going to be some changes because you guys, for those who don't know, you were in a 5-team district last year. Mejia was dropping down, and so we knew that there was going to be some sort of shakeup. You guys end up getting dropped into District 8 4A Division 2 with teams. You're going to add a team like Rusk. You're going to add a team like Center. I'm also reading here you're going to add a team in Carthage. When alignments came out, 9 o'clock last Thursday, what was going through your mind? Well,
those alignment days, I know you've been to them. Mm-hmm. I like to describe them. It's like the bell went off at Wall Street. That's the best way I know. These grown men coaches, we're all pushing each other, trying to grab the alignment. I don't know. It's 2022. I'm not sure if this is the best way to do it, but we're grabbing these papers out of this box and rushing back and open them like it's Christmas morning to see your district, right? Mm-hmm. So I open up ours, and it's the district you say, and maybe 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, my wife texts me, who'd you make mad at the UIL? I'm like, I don't know, baby. I don't know who it was. Because the district is tougher. I honestly never expected to pick Carthage back up. Mm-hmm. We were in with them, I guess what was that, 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so we played those guys in district before, but I never dreamed that we would pick them back up. But who would have thought Mahia would have been in our district the last 2 years? And you know how the UIL works. It's everybody looks at their district and they see something that they don't understand and they complain about it. But you're only looking at your district. I don't do the UIL's job, and I don't cover the whole state and put those things together. And so what might not make sense to you, if you look at the whole picture, makes sense to these guys. And so, yeah, that district it was not what we were looking for. Obviously, Carthage is, everybody knows, man, they're one of the best teams in the state of Texas at any level. I mean, what are they, 46-1 in their last 47 games?
Sounds about right.
They lost to China Spring this year, so the district just got better. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about that. And luckily we played those guys. We kind of know what we're up against. And but, you know, everybody talks about Carthage. Center's got a great sophomore quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
If people aren't talking about him, they better start. We played them in non-district last year.
And that's haul, too.
He played good. And Russ down there with Coach Sitton, I know they graduated, the McCowan kid, but he does a great job coaching. So we're going to be in a war, man. Week in and week out is going to be an absolute war in my estimation. And, you know, like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be very few dull moments next year in our district.
Well, I mean, the thing is, here's the thing for me, from my perspective, is you take a look at the entirety of Region 2, and look, when you're in East Texas, like, you're going to have to beat the best eventually. You might as well get sharpened up for district play. I have to imagine that part of the thing that's going through your mind is like, well, you know what? We're going to have to beat these teams anyway. There's hardly any easy. There wasn't an easy draw on the board for you guys. This was just maybe a little tougher than you might have thought.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I appreciate your positivity and phrasing it that way. I worked at Denton Ryan for 9 years for Joey Florence. And he told me, I was the offensive coordinator in my last 4 years, and somewhere in there, I think we got beat in the second or third round, and we weren't expecting it, played a good team. And I was talking to him about it, and he said, hey, look, man, I've been doing this if we're not going to win it all, I just seem losing the second round. I'm like, hey, are you serious, coach? Like, I want to win some playoff games. I'm not looking to lose in the second round or the first round. And I'll never forget that. And he mentioned that to me again just the other day. And he added the other day, he said, look, you'll get paid the same if you get beat in the first round as you will the fourth round. I'm like, it's not about that. You know, it's not about that, coach. But you're right, man. You're going to play some really good football teams. Our non-district schedule is really tough. Mm-hmm. Scheduling has not gotten any easier for us. We're playing some really good teams there. You're going to play a great team in Carthage and some other talented teams. And then I know this. If you're not first or second in your district, mm-hmm. you're going to play Gilmer or Pleasant Grove in the first round of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And you throw Carthage back in the Region 2 with Gilmer and Pleasant Grove. Mm-hmm. I mean, who else has been to state out of that region besides those three teams? So I would assume everybody in Region 3 got fired up when they saw Carthage in Region 2, right? And everybody in Region 2 was like, well, here we go. Yep. You know, throw Carthage back in this thing. I don't know how you can compare, but I'd be hard pressed to say that any region is going to be tougher than that region with those three teams in it.
Mm-hmm. I'm inclined to agree with you. He's Jared Moffatt. He's the head coach of the Van Vandals. Coach, we certainly appreciate your time. Congratulations again on a fantastic 2021 season. What a joy it was to watch your squad, and looking forward to seeing what you guys put out there in the fall.
Well, thanks a lot, Tepper, man. I appreciate the phone call. You guys have a good day.
All right, take care, Coach.
Bye, Coach.
There he goes.
Take care.
Jared Moffatt, head coach of the Van Vandals, join us here on Texas Football Today.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.